All right, let's talk about one of the biggest financial decisions we make. You're at the car dealership, and you've got two options. One looks so much cheaper every month that it feels like a total no-brainer. But what if that obvious choice is actually a carefully designed financial trap? Today, we're going to run the real math on leasing versus buying a car. And trust me, the final tally might actually shock you.
So let's meet Jake and Marcus. To make this a fair fight, they are in the exact same situation. Both make 55 grand a year, and they're both eyeing the exact same $30,000 car. Same color, same everything. The only difference between them is the piece of paper they're about to sign.
Jake, he goes for the lease. And look at that number, just $299 a month. I mean, come on. The salesman's telling him it's an incredible deal. It feels light, it's totally manageable, and he gets to drive a brand new car. It's incredibly tempting.
And then you have Marcus. He decides to buy the car, and his loan payment is $522. Wow, that's a huge difference. $223 more than Jake every single month. You feel that right away in your budget. On day one, Jake is driving off that lot feeling like he absolutely won.
And you know what? For the first 3 years, it really looks like Jake made the smarter call. He's in what I call the honeymoon period. He's got the new car smell, a full warranty, which means zero surprise repair bills. Life is pretty good.
Marcus, on the other hand, is feeling the pain. He's what they call underwater on his loan. Because of how fast cars depreciate, he actually owes the bank more money than the car's physically worth. And psychologically, that feels awful. It's like every payment is just vanishing into thin air. And the numbers back this up completely. After 3 years, Jake has spent just over $12,000. Marcus, he spent almost $22,000. That means Jake is ahead by more than 9 grand. I mean, looking at this, it's a clear victory for leasing, right?
But this is where everything changes. Year 3 is the pivot point where the entire story just flips on his head. For Jake, it's the end of the road. His lease is up, and it's time to start all over. For Marcus, it's just a checkpoint on his path to owning his car outright.
See, you have to understand the fundamental nature of what you're signing up for. Leasing is basically a conveyor belt. Every single one of Jake's $299 payments just gets him 1 month closer to the day he has to hand the keys back and get right back on the conveyor belt again.
Buying, though, is a journey with a finish line. Every single one of Marcus's payments, even the painful early ones, is building equity. It's bringing him one step closer to the day where he owns this asset free and clear. It's a completely different game with a completely different outcome. So at the end of his lease, Jake does what most people do. He goes right back to the dealership and leases another brand new car. Another down payment, another 36 months of payments. The cycle just restarts. And this is when all those little costs that the salesman kind of glossed over start to pop up.
Yeah, this is where they get you, in the fine print. Most leases cap your mileage way lower than what the average person actually drives. And every single mile you go over, bam, there's a penalty. Then you've got charges for wear and tear, a disposition fee, which is literally just a fee to give the car back, and huge penalties if you ever need to end the lease early. It adds up fast.
Okay, let's fast forward to the 6-year mark. This is the big flip. Jake's finished 2 full leases, he spent over 25 grand, and he owns nothing. Marcus has spent more, over 34 grand, but his loan is completely paid off. He now owns a car worth about $12,000. So when you subtract that asset from what he spent, his effective cost is actually $3,000 less than Jake's. The game has totally changed.
Now for the final tally. Let's look at a decade. Jake has been stuck on that leasing conveyor belt for maybe 3, even 4 cars. He has spent somewhere between $45,000 and $52,000. The net result? He spent more money, and he has absolutely nothing to show for it. Marcus? He paid his car off years ago, spent some money on maintenance, and his total cost is less. And crucially, he still owns an asset worth thousands of dollars. So what is the actual tangible difference between these two paths over just 10 years? It's this number. Between $15,000 and $25,000. That's the wealth gap created by this one decision. That isn't pocket change. For most people, that's a life-changing amount of money.
Now look, to be fair, leasing isn't always the wrong answer. There are a few very specific cases where it can make sense. If you own a business, you can often write off the payments. If you're driving a super high-end car where one repair could cost 10 grand, leasing keeps you under warranty. And if you're one of the rare, super disciplined people who would actually invest that $223 in savings every month, you might come out ahead. But let's be honest, how many of us really do that?
And that really gets to the core of it. The real trap isn't the lease itself. It's that we're tricked into making a massive $30,000 decision by focusing only on that small, attractive monthly payment they put right in front of us, without ever looking at the big picture.
So the next time you're facing a big purchase and that low monthly payment seems almost too good to be true, you just have to stop and ask yourself one simple question. What does this actually cost me when it's all over? Because at the end of the day, that is the only number that truly matters.